Hey guys, Ultimate Deadpool here, and this is going to be one of those videos that's put on both channels, Ultimate Deadpool and Ultimate Deadpool Extras, simply because this is going to be a very important video. Well, it's not an important video, but I'm sure a lot of you are going to enjoy it. So I have the Mad Max General Lee in front of me right now, and what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade this car just a little bit. I already added the spoiler on the back because a lot of you were saying, well, you forgot the spoiler from the picture. So I understood that, so I went ahead and found a nice spoiler um, from a different car, and I put it on this, and it actually doesn't look bad. I honestly think this is pretty cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some black lines on this hose. Now they're not gonna be perfect, but I will do my best. So if you guys want to watch how long it actually takes to get this, literally this level of detail on anything I do, stick around to the end of this video, and you guys will know how tedious it is to get some of this stuff done. Now that noise is coming from this, so I need more black paint, and I just got it on my finger. I'll be back. Okay, so for those of you who don't know this, the way I get a lot of my details is I use a toothpick. Kind of just dab it into the paint like so, get that extra big fat crap off, and then what we're gonna do is just go right in between these lines, just put a little bit of black in between. Now luckily this is a rubber piece, so anything that's extra, wipe it away. Dab the toothpick again, and simply repeat the process. So yeah, this is a very time consuming process, and I probably should just disconnect the hose now that I think about it. So I'm going to I say very carefully remove the hose, but I don't want to mess it up. Crap, I did not think this through. Okay, so this is honestly 100% legitimate what goes on behind the scenes on Ultimate Deadpool. So, um, me talking to myself, trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do to make sure that these things turn out just the way I want them to. This is entirely legitimate, how I do all this. And trust me, it gets very annoying very quickly. So, let's try something new. Let's try. Now, typically, what you could do is sand the end of the toothpick, so that way it's a little bit thinner and pointier. I don't have that kind of time, so I'm just trying to get what I have to work with in the time frame that I've got. Luckily, though, if I screw up, I can just easily go over it with a silver coat of paint, since this hose is technically silver. So it's not a big deal if I mess it up. But it's definitely going to be 3 times as time consuming. So yeah, this is very stressful, very, very boring, but in the long run, it is worth it just for the amount of detail that this simple hose will produce. Because you might not see it at first, But boy, when you do, it's like an eye popper. Because typically what I do with these things is once I start a project such as this, I typically plan it ahead first. I did not plan this particular part. This seriously just came to me about an hour and a half ago. And I'm like, hey, viral video is a viral video. But, yeah, typically I would use a small, thin brush or something that is not something like this. I overestimated or underestimated the thickness of the rings around the tube, and now I'm paying the price for it. So, I might cut it away and then give you guys a little bit more progress once I've actually covered more of the freaking pipe or hose or whatever you want to call this. Just so that way the video is not 4.5 hours long. Because if I was to do this straight on camera, it would be about 4 hours long. And I know some of you guys like watching stuff like this, but I guarantee you, you are not going to want to watch me just dab a toothpick in paint for 4 hours. And it's already 11 o'clock here in Texas. So, for those of you who might still be watching, I'm going to do a destruction video tomorrow because some of you guys might know that I work at the tool rental section of a Home Depot, and my phone got crushed again. So this time it wasn't my fault. It was a customer's fault. But it was avoidable just the same. So that's going to be a story on Ultimate Deadpool Extras only. But let's just say we're going to crush my phone with a car in tomorrow's Ultimate Deadpool video. So if I had my pickup truck, it'd be a little bit more devastating because, you know, that truck will weigh a lot more than my little car. But, yeah. So this is essentially what the entire hose is going to end up looking like. I'm just going to cut away and do this all off camera so that way it doesn't make the video 4.5 hours long. So I'll get back to you guys in just a moment. Well, for you it'll be just a second, but for me it's going to be like an hour. Okay, so it actually ended up not taking as long as I thought, but this is the final result. I personally think it looks a little bit better than what it did. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Which one was better? Was it better not being painted at all, or do you guys like it better with the black stripes in between it? So either way, it's permanent now, so I can't really fix it because I'm not going to try to pry this off and change it back to what it was. So, I mean, it's one of those little teeny tiny details that you don't really notice at first, but man, when you do, it just pops. It just makes everything pop. So, that's just me. I'm not, trying to, praise my own work or anything, because, I mean, it does look cool, but obviously you guys are the deciding benefactor. So, another thing, you can't really see it that well on camera, but inside the blower there are actual black circles with silver lines through it. That was not easy to do. So again, it's just those little details that drive me crazy. Like the black in the wheels, that was an entirely chrome wheel, and I put all the black in it. So that was not at all fun. But again, it's those small details that make up half of the stuff. So, and plus, I have a slight curse. I am a perfectionist. If it does not look perfect, then it does not work for me. That is why I have a nitpick for detail on anything I do, stop motion or model car. So that is why I went through all this trouble making this car look exactly the way it does in my video game. So we're going to go ahead and set this car off to the side for now. And we're going to pull up this new car that I did not too long ago. Now this is, I believe, is a 1970s Plymouth Cuba. So originally the red Dom Toretto Dodge Charger was going to be a Deadpool Mad Max car. And let's just say the paintwork on it didn't really work in the end, simply because I fucked it up by adding a second coat of paint to it. Also, someone in the comments, let me know, why the hell does model car paint work better on... Don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid. I know model car spray paint is intended for model cars. But why the hell does spray paint not work on it? I put primer on these things and one coat of spray paint, and half the time it ends up looking like crap. And it just ends up being all crumply and bumply and all this. And not bumply. It's all crumply and bubbly. And I have to scrape half of it off and then redo it again. And then finally it ends up looking as smooth as that hood. Why? I don't get it. Someone in the comments, please let me know. So, this is going to end up becoming Deadpool's car. Obviously, it's missing a lot of black. So, it will have that. It's probably not going to be heavily Mad Maxed like the General Lee is. Or the Trans Am, or any of the other cars. Just simply because I want to be able to use this car as Deadpool's personal car in some of my videos. Actually, a lot of my videos. I would like this to end up being Deadpool's personal vehicle. And that is entirely possible if I can figure out what the hell to do with it. So, obviously, since I still have black paint, I am going to fill in the grill up here. So this is not going to be as time consuming, but it's still going to be just as tedious. Okay, now that the chair is a little bit lower, I can get a slightly better angle. So for this, I'm just going to use a really thin brush and just lightly cover the spots inside the grill. Now again, to a regular model car builder, they may not, care a whole lot about some of these type of details, but for me, every detail counts. So I need to make sure that when I do these things, I do it with as close to pinpoint accuracy as I can. So, there's one. Now, for those of you who build model cars, or even if you don't, I encourage you to try it at least, because it's very, very relaxing if you don't do it the way that I do it. Or don't care as much about its detail as I do it. So, but it's definitely very relaxing, very time-consuming little process. But I find it to be very relaxing and calming some of the time. So the hose on this one doesn't exactly count for that. But that was a detail that was added in after the whole car was already put together. If that was something that I had done before I put everything together, it may not have been as bad, but I don't know. Because typically, if something like this was to be put on a car, I would probably spray paint the entire thing first, and then just paint the outside circles or rings. But unfortunately, I did not think about doing this until an hour ago. And yeah. So that is why that happened. But typically, when I do stuff like, these fine little details, um, typically um, it's before the car is completely put together, and before it's all said and done. So that doesn't make it any less stressful, but it makes it just a little bit easier, because then I can actually move the piece to where I need it to, so that way I can see exactly what I'm doing. Because I'm using the camera as a slight angled mirror, and using my eyes to see where to stick the brush, and then looking back at the camera to see if there are any spots that I've missed. Another thing I do like about model cars is a lot of them are old-time classic muscle cars. And for those of you who might not know this, I am a muscle car geek. If I even just see an old car, I geek out, because I love the way old cars used to look. And a lot of you might not know this, but my dad had a 1979 Pontiac Trans Am. And that was by far one of my favorite cars to ride in. So, anyway, so now that the grill on this one is done, it just needs a little bit of Deadpool touches to it, and then it'll be good to go. Both of these cars, again, will appear in the Mad Max miniseries, which is going to feature a very, not important character, but a very fun and friendly character to the Mad Max miniseries. So that's about it for this video. I might add a little bit of a couple more details to each car, but for now, I'm happy with the way that both of these turned out. The paint work on this one could be a little bit better, and this one is probably one of my favorite, if not my most favorite Mad Max car, just because of the amount of detail that's in it. And plus, I like Dukes of Hazzard, so and plus, this is a car that I designed on a video game, and I'm happy to see that video game vision be put onto an actual physical thing, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So a lot of you guys might not know this, but this is actually how I did some of my custom big figs, such as Hulk's arm and pants, Spider Hulk, Hulk pool, and even the lizard. And that's about it. Real quick on this car, I'm really happy that I found the this spoiler. This is actually off the black 1970s Camaro that I built for Hulk. But since Hulk is temporarily canceled, I can just easily make a new car for Bruce Banner when that video or movie is ready. Because originally this was going to be the spoiler for this car, and let's just say that would not have worked at all. So I am really happy with this version. I'm at some point I'm just going to paint over all of this, take actual paper clips and glue them to the back, so that way it looks more like the brackets that you see on stock cars and race cars that have that particular spoiler design on them, just like Lightning McQueen, actual stock cars in NASCAR, and a couple of other ones. So basically, it's just going to look a little bit more realistic, and plus that extra amount of detail is just going to make it pop just a little bit more. That's about it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. This video still ended up being 20 minutes long, so I apologize for that. But that is that is virtually what happens behind the scenes on a lot of these, if not most of these, custom projects that I do. Such as the Mad Max cars, some of the Lego characters that I do. A lot of it is that time consuming. I realized it didn't look like it took that much time, but trust me, off camera, this was not easy to do. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I will see you guys next time on Ultimate Deadpool and Ultimate Deadpool Extras. And I will see you guys all next time. Bye. I already said that. I'm losing my mind. I didn't get much sleep last night. I apologize. Anyway, peace out. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys all later.